Most people don't even realize it. They wake up, check their phone, scroll mindlessly for 15 minutes, get up, drag themselves into the day, and they think it's just normal. But there's a hidden habit forming every time you do that. It's not just the distraction, it's the submission, the slow daily erosion of mental strength. This habit doesn't scream, it whispers. It disguises itself as comfort, as rest, as entertainment. But what it's really doing is teaching your brain to avoid discomfort at all costs. And that's the beginning of weakness. Every time you run from discomfort, you're training your mind to be soft, fragile. And that's exactly how mental strength dies. Comfort has become the modern god. We've built entire systems, technologies, and routines around making life easier. Faster food, smarter phones, more convenient apps, everything designed to make you move less, think less, feel less. But here's the truth. The more comfort you seek, the less capable you become. Comfort robs you of your edge. It makes you slow to react, emotionally unstable, and mentally unprepared. It's not just about laziness. It's about losing the ability to endure anything hard, to fight for anything meaningful. When comfort is your default, strength becomes your enemy. So what's the habit? It's mental escape, not physical laziness, not procrastination, but the automatic impulse to escape every time something feels hard. You feel bored? You scroll. You feel anxious? You eat. You feel overwhelmed. You distract yourself. You feel lonely? You binge something. This is not rest. It's not healing. It's avoidance. And every time you choose it, you're carving a pattern into your brain that says, you're not just avoiding discomfort, you're practicing weakness. Every time you mentally escape instead of confronting a challenge, you pay a price. Not in money, not in time, but in mental resilience. You lose the ability to sit with discomfort. You lose the muscle of focus. You lose the habit of discipline. Little by little, you become dependent on the escape. You need stimulation just to feel okay. And suddenly silence becomes painful. Stillness becomes unbearable. And discipline feels impossible. This is how the weak mind is born. Not from failure, but from repeated avoidance. Mental strength isn't about being fearless. It's about being willing. Willing to sit in the discomfort. Willing to resist the escape. Willing to feel bored, restless, frustrated, and stay in it. The strong mind doesn't look for a way out. It looks for a way forward. That's the difference. Most people quit as soon as something feels hard. The strong stay. They breathe. They endure. And with every moment they don't run, they build a fortress inside themselves. Discomfort becomes a training ground, not a threat. Forget the treadmill. Forget the weight rack. The real gym is your mind, and discomfort is the weight. Every time you feel the urge to quit and don't, every time you face a difficult emotion instead of escaping it, every time you resist the easy path, you're training. You're sculpting a mind that can handle pressure, delay gratification, and stay calm under fire. Most people only train their bodies. Few ever train their minds. But the ones who do, they become unstoppable. Not because life gets easier, but because they get stronger. The habits you think no one sees are the ones shaping your future. When you break your word to yourself, when you scroll instead of study, when you avoid instead of act, you may think no one notices, but your mind does. Your identity does. And your identity is built in private. Mental weakness doesn't explode all at once. It accumulates silently, in the little decisions, the private moments, the quiet choices no one else knows about. If you want to become mentally unbreakable, start where no one's watching. Most people are looking for an external threat. They blame their boss, their parents, the algorithm, the economy. But the truth is, the real enemy is already inside. It's that voice that says, "This is too hard. You deserve a break. Just skip it today." That voice doesn't sound evil. It sounds reasonable. But it's weakening you from the inside out. Mental strength isn't built by silencing that voice. It's built by defying it, by acting anyway, by choosing the harder path moment by moment, by becoming the kind of person who doesn't need motivation, because discipline runs the show. Most people misunderstand discipline. They think it's harsh, rigid, cold, controlling. But real discipline? It's love in action. Discipline says, I care too much about my future to betray it today. I respect myself enough to keep my word, even when it's hard. I won't sell my potential for 10 seconds of dopamine. Discipline isn't a cage. It's a path, the only path, to freedom. Because when you're not ruled by impulse, when you don't depend on motivation, when you can choose discomfort willingly, you are free. You are not what you wish for. You are not what you post about. You are what you repeat. If you constantly repeat mental escape, avoiding challenges, chasing comfort, numbing discomfort, you are becoming mentally weak, whether you admit it or not. But if you repeat strength, if you sit with hard emotions, if you face the task instead of fleeing, then strength becomes your identity. And when strength becomes identity, you don't have to think about it. You just act in alignment with who you are. That's when you stop forcing discipline and start living it. You don't have to overhaul your life overnight. Mental strength doesn't begin with grand gestures. It begins with one moment of choosing not to scroll. One moment of choosing to feel instead of numb. One moment of staying with the discomfort instead of escaping it. That one moment becomes two. Two becomes a habit. A habit becomes a lifestyle. And a lifestyle becomes identity. Strength is not built in hours. It's built in seconds. The seconds where you choose the hard thing. Not because you want to, but because you said you would. Your brain is always watching. Every time you escape, you're teaching it. Discomfort is dangerous. Pain must be avoided. Hard things are bad. But every time you resist the escape, every time you breathe through the storm, every time you act despite resistance, you teach your mind, I am capable. I am in control. I don't run, I rise. You are the architect of your mind, and what you reinforce becomes what you believe. What you believe becomes how you live. The reason to build mental strength isn't just for today. It's for a moment that hasn't arrived yet. A moment when life hits you hard. A breakup. A loss. A failure. A storm you didn't see coming. When that day comes, and it will, you won't rise to the level of your potential. You'll fall to the level of your training. That's why we train now. That's why we embrace discomfort when it's optional. So when it's not, we're ready. You don't get stronger in the crisis. You reveal the strength you've built before it. The things you avoid the most are the things that hold the most power over you. That hard conversation you won't have. That discipline you keep delaying. That dream you never chase because failure terrifies you. Avoidance doesn't protect you. It imprisons you. It keeps you small. Keeps you stuck. It keeps you scared. But when you face what you fear, when you step into the thing you've been running from, you reclaim your power. What you face, you master. What you avoid masters you. Mental strength isn't something you're born with. It's not luck. It's not genetics. It's a decision made over and over again. Every morning you wake up. Every challenge you face. Every temptation to escape you choose. You either choose the easy way out or the honest path through. You either reinforce weakness or you build strength, one uncomfortable rep at a time. The results won't show up overnight, but they will show up in your discipline, in your confidence, in your peace. If you've been mentally escaping, if you've been running from discomfort, if you've let the habit of weakness creep in, it's okay, but it stops now. Not tomorrow, not next week, now. This is the moment you stop letting comfort run your life. This is the moment you stop practicing weakness. This is the moment you begin training your mind like a warrior. Start with the next hard thing. Face it, do it, and then do it again tomorrow. And if you're serious about building unstoppable mental strength, subscribe now to the Mental Gym because we train daily.